Khamzat Chimiev is a decisionator in the making. Now hear me out. I'm so congested. I'm sick as fuck right now. Khamzat Chimiev is gonna beat Whittaker by decision. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna suck. He's not gonna Darce choke him in the first round. He's not gonna get knocked out by Whittaker in round 4. Whittaker by round 4 KO. By round 6.5 KO for Whittaker. A 1-2 head kick KO. Dude, shut the hell up, man. He probably will 1-2 head kick Khamzat. Let's be real. If it does go to decision, he probably will land it at least once, but I don't think he's gonna knock him out. I don't care that he KO'd Ikram. You gotta look at more than just his last fight. Ikram's kind of a bum, you know? Whittaker hasn't KO'd anyone since the 90s. Now, at the same time, you'll see people saying, oh, Khamzat by first round Darce choke. You know, I think Khamzat's gonna get a sneaky little Darce choke as Whittaker's standing up. Dude, listen, Khamzat Chimiev, he has a great Darce choke, but I was listening to a podcast with Whittaker and Mighty Mouse the other day, and Whittaker was talking about working specifics for Khamzat basically for the last year straight, and he's saying that he has been working on Darce choke defense.
Takes me down, working some Darce defense, because he's got a good Darce. He's got long arms.
Yep. Yeah, I think that Whittaker is going to be well aware of the Darce threat. And as far as getting rear naked choked, I don't think that's going to happen, man. We don't really see rear naked chokes in high-level MMA recently. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I mean, look at the Raul Rosas Jr. fight where he wasn't even defending. He was literally just punching like this and not getting choked somehow. Weird things. But I don't think that he's going to get rear naked choked. I think Whittaker's too smart for that. I don't think that he's going to be, Peruvian necktied or anything. He's aware of what Khamzat's game plan is. Everyone kind of is now. Khamzat's going to shoot a takedown in the first 5 seconds. He's going to get it. Apparently it's just impossible to defend that takedown. He shoots super quickly. He gets super deep on the takedowns. And there's just not much you can do about it. So Whittaker is going to be taken down. He's well aware of that. He's been working submission defense for months and months and months. Now he has a whole other training camp to get ready for Khamzat. I think he's going to be good enough to not get submitted, right? Whittaker's known for his defensive grappling, for his get-ups, takedown defense. I think it's going to be hard for Khamzat to get him down multiple times after the first time. And when he does get him down, I think that Whittaker's going to be smart enough to be able to survive. Khamzat's going to be a little tired shooting takedowns. But speaking of tired, let's talk about that. There is this narrative that Khamzat has a horrible gas tank, and I just have no idea where that narrative came. I have no conception of where that might have come from. If I were to, gun to my head, guess where that idea came from, it's probably from his fight against Usman, right? We gotta understand how Khamzat fights. So Khamzat's whole style is he sprints for the first 5 minutes as hard as he can to try to get a finish. He pushes and puts everything into it to try to get a finish in the first 5 minutes. That is his whole game plan. If it doesn't work in the first round, then he'll try again in the second, he'll try again in the third, and he'll keep going until he either gets to finish or he gets a bit tired. But we gotta look at the Usman fight, and specifically at Usman's skill set to understand why Khamzat was more tired than Usman in that fight. Khamzat, even though he did get tired against Usman, we have to look at Usman's skill set, even if it is on 10 days notice in a weight class up, right? Usman looked pretty shredded in that fight. He didn't look like he was coming off the couch fat. And Usman is known for having some of the best takedown defense in UFC history. I don't know why I didn't really see people talking about it that much after Khamzat took him down. Everyone was just sort of like, oh, I guess Khamzat's really that good, or I guess Usman's really that washed, or his knees are that gone. It's like, no. Usman still has elite takedown defense. I am a strong believer in that. I think he has great defensive wrestling. He has some of the best defensive grappling in welterweight. There's only one person with better defensive grappling, I'd say, in welterweight. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Khamzat was not only able to take Usman down multiple times and control him for the whole first round, and he did gas out in the first round, he was still able to take down Usman in the second and third, and scrape by a decision. Could have arguably been a draw, but look, Usman has better defensive grappling than Whittaker. I'm pretty confident in saying that. Even on 10 days notice, I don't think Whittaker has the same level of takedown defense, of get-ups, as a guy like Kamaru Usman. You know, Usman has a lighter man's skill, right? He's a long-reigning champion, top 10 best fighter of all time, right? I think that Khamzat is going to be able to take Whittaker down in the first and control him. Maybe 10-8 him. Even if he 10-9s him, I think that Khamzat will still have the gas tank to take down Whittaker in rounds 2 and 3. And this is another thing I want to talk about, and people don't talk about in the Kamaru Usman fight. The CEO of EPO himself, Kamaru Usman. Remember when people used to call him that? I don't really hear people calling him that anymore. Well, look, Usman has one of the nuttiest gas tanks in 170, in some of the higher weight classes. He has one of the nuttiest gas tanks and some of the best defensive wrestling. That is a awful matchup for Khamzat. I don't think that Whittaker has the same level of gas tank or even really that close to a guy like Usman. And so yes, Khamzat was more tired than Usman in round 2 and 3. I think Usman was still pretty fatigued from defending submissions and takedowns for 5 minutes straight, and then into the second and third round with the takedown threat. I think that the takedown threat is going to be even stronger on Whittaker, because I think it's going to be easier to take down in the later rounds. I think that Whittaker is going to be more tired than people think he is. More tired than people think he's going to be. If you look at Whittaker's fight with Dricus, having a guy like Dricus throw 190 strikes at you, it's going to tire you out, defending all these knockout punches from a big, strong guy and defending these takedowns and whatnot. Whittaker was more tired than Dricus in round 2. I don't care what everyone says. Dricus has an amazing gas tank. He has one of the best gas tanks in middleweight. I don't care what anyone says. He went 5 hard rounds to Strickland pushing the pace. He broke Whittaker in a round, arguably. And I think that if he doesn't get knocked out by Izzy, he's going to just outwork him, out-cardio him. That's a whole different thing. But Khamzat, right? Okay, he can't take down Gilbert Burns. He can't hold him down. Gilbert Burns has amazing defensive grappling. Probably the best, arguably the best defensive grappling in the UFC. Gilbert Burns, he likes to keep it standing, and he likes to brawl with these wrestlers. That's what he did with Khamzat for 3 rounds straight. I don't remember Khamzat gassing that hard in that fight. I remember Khamzat out-scrapping Gilbert Burns on the feet, not gassing out, right? So I don't know where this narrative came from. Of course he's going to be tired after sprinting for 5 rounds, but guess what? Or sprinting for 5 minutes. But guess what? Whittaker is also going to be tired for defending against Khamzat sprinting. It's like you just sort of lay there and surrender positions. No, Whittaker's going to be fighting to get back to his feet, fighting off submissions. Khamzat's strong. He's probably on steroids, right? It's going to be hard for Whittaker. I think that Whittaker's going to be good enough to survive, but I do think he'll be taken down in rounds 2 and 3. And then even if Khamzat gasses round 4 and 5, I don't think Whittaker's going to have the same pop to knock him out. Okay, Khamzat now wins 48-47. I think that Khamzat could do this to a lot of people. Strickland that's another tough stylistic matchup. Strickland has good cardio, he has good takedown defense, he has great get-ups, and he is good at not getting submitted. Khamzat is probably going to be good enough to take him down in rounds 1, 2, and 3, and then just get jabbed up for 4 and 5. These guys, Whittaker and Strickland, they don't have a lot of pop. I know that they get finishes. I know that Whittaker just knocked out that bum, Ikram. Ikram did not deserve to be in there. It's a whole different thing. And Khamzat also knocked him out and did it quicker. And look, I'm a bigger fan of Whittaker than I am of Khamzat. I think this is just something that everyone's kind of overlooking. Khamzat does not have a bad gas tank. It's just his style that makes him tired and makes everyone that he's fighting just as tired as he is. Same thing with Dricus. Dricus loves fighting in the chaos. He loves to get both of you guys exhausted and then kind of have a grit off of, who's going to give up first. That's where he thrives in. And that's why I think that Dricus is going to knock out Khamzat if they ever fight. But I don't think that Whittaker is going to be the one to do it. I think that, as Bentham said, I think that Khamzat has plot armor. He's going to be on sauce. He's going to have the home field advantage. If it's a close decision, he's going to get it. And it's going to upset a lot of people, including me, because I'm a huge Whittaker fan. I want to see Whittaker versus Strickland. We might never get that fight, which would stink like poop. But, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to come on and talk about that. I feel like no one's talking about Khamzat's gas tank. I think it's super underrated. I think that Dricus' gas tank is still underrated. It's kind of more recognized now after seeing the Strickland fight. Everyone's like, oh, he got his nose six. No. I mean, yes, I'm sure that helped a little bit, but Dricus always had a crazy gas tank. He just looks like shit. But if you see who he's fighting, they're all so tired. Anyway, something I feel very passionately about. So I'm gonna go take some flu medicine. I'm so congested. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Also, one other thing that I want to talk about is I see, see Luke Tracy and other people, saying, oh, well, Khamzat can submit anyone in round one. Khamzat's a bad man in round one. He can submit anyone. Okay. He submitted Kevin Holland in round one. He submitted the Leech, who hasn't fought in 8 years since, right? He knocked out GM3. Like, are we really going to rate that win that highly? I think that Whittaker is way better when it comes to defensive grappling than guys like Kevin Holland and the Leech. So I don't think he's going to get submitted in round one. I think he's going to be good enough to survive. The question is, how is his gas tank going to look after round one? Whittaker's, I mean. And how much pop is he going to have? Because I've seen people say round 5 KO for Whittaker.